Good morning! Getting ready to go into Kentucky Sheep and Wool. It's raining. I've never come to this festival and not had it rain on me, so I was anticipating it. The gate opens in 30 minutes, so I am going to work on a barn raising square. So I've had my first walk through the pavilion in the building, and now I'm going to go look at these vendors outside, and then I'm going to start buying things.
He wasn't here, he wasn't born.
Handsome. Look at how cute and tiny they are. Oh. Oh, hi. You're so cute. Singing the songs with their people. Oh yes, there is the rainfall that I have come to know and love at the Kentucky Sheep and Fiber Festival. Hey guys, it is Sunday morning and I look like a hot mess. Sorry, not sorry. I am going to be driving like all day. But I have a couple minutes while my kids clean their room at their dad's house before we leave, and I'm going to show you my haul from yesterday. The first booth that I visited for purchasing purposes, the first one I went to was Leading Men Fiber Arts, but I didn't buy anything the first time I went in. I just dropped off a sample. So the first place I went was to Polly Studios because a couple years ago I saw their stuff at Kentucky Sheep and Fiber, but my budget was minuscule. And what I really wanted was a yarn bowl. And they have a clearance rack where everything is 50% off, and things make it onto the clearance rack because the potter is a perfectionist. Look at how beautiful this bowl is. So she's a perfectionist. This one was 50% off because this glaze broke. It looks pretty perfect to me. And then this mug was 50% off because this glaze isn't smooth. Also not a problem for me. And then I saw this mug, but I was like, do I want to buy a mug or do I want to buy some yarn or fiber? And I decided to wait until the end of the day, and if it was still there, I was going to pull the trigger and buy it. I totally expected it to be gone because this is hilarious. And it was still there 7 hours later. So clearly it was waiting for me to come back and pick it up. And then I walked around some places and I don't remember what I got next, so let's talk about Leading Men Fiber Art. So Gabriel wanted some yarn, some thicker yarn. So I took that as not fingering weight, and he wanted blue. So I got him the skein of blue, and it is the colorway Dames at Sea, the box office base. While I was in the booth, I also picked up this gorgeous skein of yarn. It's the Dramaturg in the Kaleidoscope colorway, which is a DK weight, and these are their new tags. So these are the old ones with the glasses logo, but I really like their new tags. I think they're really, really attractive. So yeah, anyway, I picked this up for a hat design that will be coming this autumn, and I have this sock blank. Look at how gorgeous this is. All of their sock blanks are one of a kind, and this one is Wake Up Call. Pinks and greens get me every single time. You guys know that. Gabriel has been asking me a lot recently to pull out his spindles, so I bought some little half-ounce fibers from, oh, I didn't pull out her business card. Oh, I did, yes. From this farm, Jehovah Jireh Wool Mill, which is, I got some of their yarn, some of their fiber actually from Young's Dairy Farm a couple years ago, and I really liked the spin. It's a little bit coarser, but I think that'll be good for him instead of, he has some smoother like merino, which was giving him some trouble. And they're 10 different colors, so he doesn't have to spin too much, although I might take this one, and this one for myself. I haven't decided yet. I really like this one because it's got little neps in it. So I was on a mission the whole time I was there to find some merino for my friend who makes wool dreadlocks, and I saw this fiber from Ohio Valley Natural Fibers, and they didn't have specifically what my friend was looking for, but I just couldn't leave these little half ounce I think? No, 1 ounce balls sitting there. They're just so pretty, and I don't know what they're gonna be, but I'm really into using mini skeins right now, which you'll see in purchases, so those can be minis. And then Yarn Geek Fibers was right next to Leading Men Fiber Arts, so I stopped in there, and I bought these 2 colorways. So this is, I don't know how to say these names. I'll just pull in real close so you can see them. And then I bought this from Fairy Tale Knits. It's Pegasus mini sets, and they were pre-packaged in these sets of 5, but in the set of 5 there was a cream color instead of this gray, and I just didn't like it. It was too, it stood out too much from the others. I like how these all kind of blend together. So I asked if I could pull this mini out of a different mini set, and she totally let me, which was super, super nice, because of course she didn't have to. I did end up finding some merino for Mary Lee at the Rebel booth, which is a local yarn shop in Lexington. And I also, in their booth, bought this braid of fiber, which is from Deviant Stitch. And the colorways are Endless Numbered Days, and it's, there you go, 60% superwash merino, 30% bamboo, and 10% nylon. So I'm pretty excited to spin that. Out of everything that I've pulled out of my bags so far, people who have seen it have said this looks the most like something I would like, and they're right. And then this was from Apothecary Fabrications, and what drew me into her booth was this gorgeous bat. It was green and just, oh, it was so pretty. But I had a big budget, but that was like breaking the bank a little, so I settled for this braid, which wasn't really settling. I love these colors. I actually have another braid of fiber in my spinning stash that looks very similar to this, so I'm going to try to pull that out and see. I think it's a 4 ounce braid also, and then so maybe I'll spin those 2 and use that in a combo spin. I love going 10 miles an hour on the freeway when they have it shut down for construction and no workers. Okay, fine. A little less annoyed because it looks like they actually did work at some point, but still, it's very frustrating that the speed limit is 45 and I'm going 15. I mentioned that I thought that I had a braid that looked like this Apothecary, and I totally do. It's just a little bit darker. It doesn't, it really is just a darker version of this, and they're the same amount. They're 4 ounces of merino. This one's just packaged tighter. So I'm totally doing a combo spin, probably spinning the braids from end to end and just plying how they go. And I think that they will be really, really pretty together. I just started a new spinning project, which is totally cheeky because I am still working on my gourmet stash spin, which I did spin yesterday, but I didn't finish it, and there's still a lot left of it. But I have these little half ounce balls of fiber from Jehovah Jireh wool mill, and they're only a half each, so it's only 1.5 ounces total. I'm going to spin each one as a single and then ply them all together and just have this really quick, fun yarn. One of them is several colors in the sliver of fiber that makes up the ball. One is these like neutrally brown colors, and then one is this gorgeous green but with like little neps in it. So I just think that's going to be a really fun, really quick yarn. I'm not going to get a ton of yardage. It's not going to make anything huge, but I kind of just really want a very fast little, I want a quick finish on a spin because all of my UFO spins are very thin or sort of difficult spins. So I'm starting to get sleepy. So I want to, before I forget, in the craziness that is the work week, let me tell you a little bit about yesterday. There were some really cool things. So I spent probably 3 hours watching the sheep shearing demonstration. It was Suffolk sheep. I ended up getting one of the fleeces because it has a lot of black in it, and so the owner of the sheep couldn't send it to who he sends all of the white fleeces, and he said, oh, I just give these away. And I was like, oh, really? I've never processed a fleece before, but Gabriel and I are going to process that one together. I think it'll be a really fun summer project for us. He is so cute. I brought him the fiber from the festival and pulled out a spindle for him, and he immediately started spinning. And I told him that if he spins consistently, so like puts in decent effort a few days a week, that if we go to the Michigan Fiber Festival, I'm pretty sure we're going to, I really want to take him. If he spins consistently, I will let him pick his own new spindle. Up to $20 or $30. Like, I'm not going to let him go too crazy because while I do believe in good tools, I also know that my 9-year-old is kind of destructive every once in a while. The spindle he's using right now is my bead spindle. So if it gets broken, it's not the end of the world. World. What else? Oh, so I was watching the sheep shearing also, and anybody in the audience who wanted to help shear could shear. So there was a girl who is an apprentice, not girl, she's probably my age, an apprentice sheep shearer, and so they let her shear 2 sheep. And then there was a girl who was probably about Gabriel's age, and they let her shear the sheep while the sheep shearer held the sheep, so that was really cool. I did not shear a sheep because I didn't want to. I wanted to sit and knit and watch this sheep shearing, and that's when I did most of the work on the sock. I definitely knit down to the heel and did the heel flap and the turn while watching sheep shearing. And then last night I stayed at a Airbnb with the front porch fiber something. I don't know. They're a group on Ravelry. They're my friend Lorraine, who I talk about a lot when I'm talking about spinning. She was staying there with them and they had extra space, and so I stayed too, and it was really, really fun. I got to meet Valerie in person, who I have known through Ravelry and social media, and we have what have we done? Google Hangouts or something. We've done that before, but I hadn't met her in person, so that was really cool. And it was just a really fun time. I haven't been to a retreat in a while, so it was that sort of vibe. We all talked about new purchases and spun and knit, and there was food, and I had a lot of fun. And finally, to leave you with a public service announcement, if you are driving all of the places in a short period of time, like me, if you get tired, just pull over at a rest area and take a nap. So I was driving home today, and I was about halfway through my drive, and I felt really, really sleepy out of nowhere. And so I was like, oh no, I'm tired. So where is the next place I can pull over and stop? And I looked over at the side of the road, and the next rest area was 1.5 miles away. So I pulled into the rest area and let my kids go to the restroom, and then we just stayed there, and I slept for about 30 minutes while they played on their tablets. So if you're tired while you're driving, it's okay to rest at rest areas. I don't do it every time I have to drive all the way down to Kentucky, but I would say probably a third of the time. Never driving down. I'm never that tired driving down, but always driving back up. I just get so tired, and probably a third of the time I have to stop. Usually I do it at the Michigan Welcome Center, but, you know, occasionally not.